Hello friends, you're welcome to my complete Java course. In today's video lecture, we are going to learn variables in Java. So, what is the variables in Java? What is a variables? So, basically, we define variable. A variable is a container which holds value during the life of a Java program. Every variable is assigned a data type. Data type specifies which type of value a variable will hold, like byte, short, int, long, float, or double. In order to use a variable in a program, you to need number one variable declaration and number two variable initialization. So variable is a container which holds the value during the life of a Java program. So if you want to use a variable in your program, then first you will have to declare a variable and you need to initialization. So here you can see here int is a data type and count is the name of the variable. So variable declaration, this is called the variable declaration. So now to declare a variable, you must specify the data type and give the name of variable. So if you want to declare a variable, first you need to give the type and second one is the name. So which type of values this variable will hold, that kind of variable type you will have to give. Example of other valid declaration are int abc. This is a valid declaration of variables. Float pi and double d. So this is a valid declaration. Here this is the data type and this is the variable name. This is the data type and pi is the variable name. Double is the data type and d is the variable name. Now you can see if you define a variable count equal to 100, then it is showing 100. Container name is count, or we can say variable name is a count, and that variable is holding the value 100. So variable initialization, that is called the variable initialization. To initialize a variable, you must assign it a valid value. Example of valid initializations are int a equal to 10, float pi equal to 20.4f, and double d equal to 22.1d. So here you are using a suffix which is denoting this is the float data, and this is the suffix d which is denoting this is the double data. Type of variables. In Java, there are three types of variables. Number one, local variables. Local variables are a variable that are declared inside the body of a method. Number two, instance variables. Instance variables are defined without the static keywords. They are defined out, outside a method declaration. They are object specific and are known as the instance variable. So if you're defining a variable out of the methods without using the static keywords, That kind of the variables is called the instance variable. Number 3 is the static variables. Static variables are initialized only once at the start of the program execution. These variables should be initialized first before the initialization of any instance variables. Example like this is a local variable because this variable b has defined within the block or within the method. So this is called the local variable. Int data is called the instance variable. Why? Because we are not using static keywords with this variable and we are defining outside from the method. That is why it is called the instance variable. If a variable defined with the static keywords, then it is called the static variable. So A is a static variable, data is a instance variable, and B is the local variable. Now, what is the data types in Java? Data types classify the different values to be stored in the variable. In Java, there are two types of data types. Number one, primitive data types. Number two, non-primitive data types. So this is a chart which is showing the complete data types. So data types is divided into two categories. One is primitive, other than is non-primitive. In the non-primitive, string and array comes and other user-defined data type. In the primitive, there are two categories. One is Boolean type and second one is numeric. Again, in the Boolean type, only one data type which is Boolean. In the numeric data type, it is also further divided into the character and integral. In the character, only one data type which is char, which holds the character type values, and the integral part, it is also again divided into two parts, integer and floating point. Integer part divided into the four part, wide, short, int and long, and the floating point is divided into two part, which is float and double. Now we will discuss about the primitive data types. There are 8 primitive types: wide, short, int, long, char, float, double and boolean. Integer data type. Number 1, wide, it occupy 1 byte of memory. Short, it occupy 2 bytes of memory. Int, it occupy the 4 bytes of memory. And long, it occupy the 8 byte of memories. So you can this as a figure. It is showing byte occupy 1 byte, short take 2 byte, int take 4 byte and long take 8 bytes of memory. Number 2 is floating data types. Number 1 is float, which take 4 bytes. Number 2 is double, which takes 8 bytes. Now next one is textual data types, which is char, which takes 2 bytes of memory. Next one is logical data types, which is Boolean, which takes 1 byte with the default value with the values true and false. The default value is false, but it can take only the two values. One is true and another one is false. So here is the chart of data types, default value and the size. So the default value for the byte is 0, short is 0, int is 0, and long is 0L. L is denoting this is the long value. Float default value is 0.0 f, f denoting that it is a float value. Double 0.0 d, boolean default value is false, and char data type's default value is /u and 4 times 0. And this is the default size of the data types. Byte is 1 byte, 2 bytes is short, 4 bytes for int, 8 bytes for long, 4 bytes for float, 8 bytes for double, 1 bytes for boolean, and 2 bytes for char. Now we will talk about the naming convention for variables. Number 1, naming convention. It means how we can give the name, or what is some rules which is used when we give the name of the variables. So number 1 is all variables name should begin with a letter A to Z or small a to Z. Currency character dollar or an underscore. So every variable should be start from the alphabet. It can be a uppercase, it can be a lowercase, or the variable name can be start with the dollar sign and underscore sign as well. Number 2, after the first character, identifiers also called the variables. So identifier can have many combination of characters. It means after the first character you can give another character or any combination of the characters. Number 3, a keyword like if, else cannot be used as a variable name. So what is the keyword? Keyword is the words which is pre-reserved for a language, like if, else, switch, case, throw, throws, try. All these are the keywords. We will learn each and every keywords in the upcoming videos lecture. Till that time, you just remember we cannot use a keyword as a variable name. Number 4, variables are case sensitive, like small student and the capital student are different. These are the two variables. Number 5, examples of legal variable is age, dollar salary, underscore value, underscore one, underscore value. These are the example of the legal variable name. You can define your variable name with starting with the dollar name. But apart from the dollar sign and the underscore, you cannot start your variable name with the any digit or any other special character. Number 6, examples of illegal identifiers or illegal variable is 123 ABC my hyphen salary. So this is a illegal example of the variable's name. So now I would like to show you, if you define a invalid variable name, it will show the error. Suppose first I will show you. Suppose if you want to define an integer variable with dollar sign, so I starting a dollar, then I am giving the ABC name and I am initializing with the default 0 value. So it will not show any error. In the same way, if I use the underscore, again it will not show any error. But if you use any digit, it will show an error. You can see here, syntax error on token 4, delete this token. Okay, now if you use any other special character other than the dollar and underscore, also then you will get the error. Like if you are using the @ sign, yeah, negation sign, you will get the error, because this is not the valid variable name. So friends, thank you for watching this video lecture. In this video lecture, I have teach you uh, what is the variable, what is the data type, how to define variables, how to assign the values to the variables, what is the naming convention for the variables, what is the valid variable, what is the invalid variables. So I hope you enjoyed this video lecture, and thank you for watching this video lecture, and watch my next video lecture for learning new things in Java.